Okay, so I want to talk about a couple different things, all right? I'm going to be quick about this, and then I'm going to move on to the next topic. First thing I want to say is that I said some things yesterday, and I want to reiterate things more clearly, okay? I said in one of my videos yesterday that early on when I was a member in the community on Patreon, that I would perceive certain source players as butt kissers, as them prostrating themselves repeatedly over video posts and everything like that. It was just, that was how I was perceiving it. And that was from a place of a newly awakened source player with a lot of judgments and criticisms about people. That's how I saw people. And I was like, ugh, you're making me sick. That is something I'm sharing with you people. Now, if you feel some kind of way that I've shared that thought, that's on you. We live in a world where people are outraged about everything. And if somebody has an opinion or shares that opinion, all of a sudden people want to jump and lynch and cancel. We know what internet culture is like. So please do yourself this favor. Do not think for 1 second that you know me or my intentions. Don't think my intentions are ill towards anyone. Even when I say that I don't find value in some channel that is making or actually channels, multiple channels that are making movie montages and repeating things that Quartz Crystal has already said. I'm not getting value. I find the technique reductive. Does that mean I'm telling you you shouldn't listen? No, it's an opinion. If you're offended by my opinion, that's a you problem. Okay? Everything I have put forth on my channel has been with the best intentions. Am I perfect? No, not by any stretch of the imagination am I perfect. And that is the whole premise that I built this channel on. That should be your first indication. But anyway, I also want to say this. Let's put this here. If you're offended by me and you can't get past my opinions, or something that the way I express something, because sometimes I'm sitting here, this is all off the cuff. I'm struggling to find the words to articulate the message I'm trying to get out. So sometimes I might not say it in the most eloquent way. I may not. If it bothers you, then you're not getting value. That's it in a nutshell. If I irritate you, you are not getting value. And then maybe I'm not the person for you, you know? And the reason why I've kind of expressed that I like Infinite Source Truth's channel, and he also has Free Floating Air Balloon, that's his music channel. I find him to be a very creative person. He's creating music that's uplifting. He just announced that he's publishing a book, a children's book or something like that. And he's got it available. Like you can download chapter 1 or whatever it is. I just saw that announced. I like his creativity. I like how he's using his gifts, his innate natural gifts that he's good at to help you. That's what I'm saying. But this is not to say that I don't like how those movie montages are edited and put together. I just was hoping there would be more meat in there. Irony. But you know what I mean. I was hoping there'd be more substance, and I'm not finding it. So I don't find value. But somebody new to this might. The only other thing I think is that, all of the creators should be mindful of if these people coming to their channels are brand new to this information. That's it. Now, I'm not going to talk about it anymore, but like I said, if you find me offensive, you're not going to find value. And I urge you to just maybe go find one of the other creators, and that's it, okay? So now, this game is an illusion. It's 100% illusion, right? Yet, I'm sitting at my desk, and I'm touching my keyboard. This keyboard gives me the ability to type on this computer and create a post on a blog, on my page, whatever. It gives me the ability to communicate in a more efficient way, right? Same thing with the computer. These are boons. These are things within our game that enhance our life. With the computers, I have learned over the years, I've taught myself how to be, a very junior level web designer, self-taught, learn how to create graphics, photo editing, web page, word, things of that nature, very internet front end kind of stuff, and many other things. Create podcasts like this. I have a wheelhouse of talents that don't have anything to do with like my cooking talents. That's a completely different thing. But my point is that this computer has given me a lot. It has assisted me in a lot, in enhancing myself and who I am and my knowledge and my skills and my capabilities greatly. And there are many other things within this game that provide benefit to us. There are apps and programs that go on these devices, our smartphones, our computers. I have a microphone attached to this computer as I'm doing this podcast. We have these sites like YouTube. These are boons to our games that we can share and support each other with information, with things that we have clarity on. And when you're playing a video game, there are things written into the program of the video game. You have a set of laws and rules that the game is written upon, right? You can't go out of bounds, for example, but also you can only do what your character can do. And if there are, I play The Sims occasionally, okay? But that can get very time consuming. So like they will sit there for months and I won't play with them. So, but I have the Sims game. Every now and then I go in and I check because I like to create houses, worlds. I like doing that. To me, that's fun. But that's not to say I haven't played like shooter games and fighting games. I've played those lower frequency games, absolutely. But I haven't played any of the new ones. But I like, for example, like Fortnite or any of those games that, or like Skyrim or Elder Scrolls or any of those, like there are magical items in those games. Like usually that's the premise of most of those games. You find magical items, they help you on your journey, they're boons for you. There might be magical potions, there might be this particular tool or this weapon, and that improves your skill levels and helps your game experience. Right? So you get a magic potion and you take that magic potion and it gives you something. It gives you unlimited, maybe it gives you reduced life, like if you're, in a battle, and it'll reduce how strong the effect of any, blows to your character has. Do you get what I'm saying? So what am I talking about? I'm talking about those things are there for a reason. And you're not going to go into one of those games and just say, you know what, I'm just going to play this game. Even though I know this game is make-believe, it doesn't really exist. And I'm going to play this game and I'm not going to collect any of those things that are there to make it better and make it easier for me to win my game and get through my game and keep me from dying halfway through my game. And so I can level up and level up and level up. Fruits and vegetables are in this game for a reason. And she has also told you that it's not beneficial for a source player to try to subsist on air, breatharianism, right? Breatharianism, whatever it is. I don't know but all that we cannot just exist on water and breath, that it doesn't benefit you. You want to have some substance, something that is nourishing you. This apple has these vitamins in it. These vitamins are beneficial for you. Eat the apple. Are there lots of foods that are not so beneficial? Absolutely. Absolutely. That have no nutritional value? Yes. So do you just go through your life not eating that stuff? Or do you think because this is all an illusion that you're just going to exist on junk food? Because it doesn't matter. I can transmute it. That's not the case. Just because this game is an illusion does not discount that there are things within the game that will benefit you. And I think anybody with an ounce of awareness should be able to see that. The other thing I want to talk about is if you are not getting results, if you cannot vividly visualize if you can't get in the silence, if you don't have a lot of success getting into the silence, that's your first thing to tackle, right? But if you get into the silence, maybe you're having difficulty visualizing without words. Maybe it's not a vivid visualization. That's something that you have to keep practicing at, right? So you may have some successes, right? If you're having problems, you're having problematic experiences, that is a cue for you to look at your subconscious, to pull that out of your subconscious, to make sure that you're centered. Centering is so important. Making sure you're doing your pillar spin and that you are clearing any entity attachments that you might have consented to that you might not be aware of. Did you revert back into one of your old habits? And I'm not talking about eating flesh or drinking alcohol. It could be the words coming out of your mouth, for example. There has been, we've been told there are pitfalls. There are many things that can cause entity attachments. You have to make sure you are clearing and revoking that consent. Another thing is that you absolutely, without a doubt, can influence your pendulum. This has been said. You can, without a doubt, influence the direction of your pendulum when you're asking a question. I could swing my pendulum and think the word yes, and that pendulum is going to move the direction that I have programmed it to get a yes and no, vice versa. It will move. If I'm sitting and I don't have to verbalize, if I'm just in my head thinking the word yes, 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 it's going to move yes. You have to get yourself in a neutral state of mind. And if you are jumping to any conclusions about anybody or anything, and you don't have all the data, again, that's jumping to a conclusion. If you do not have all the facts, if you're not privy to all the information, you cannot come to an accurate conclusion. And you have jumped to a conclusion, and your logic is faulted, and your critical thinking skills are out the window. Jumping to a conclusion is a contradiction to critical thinking. If you are allowing your reaction to something I've said to cloud your thinking, or anybody has said, you're emotionally reacting, you're assigning your emotions to something you think that I said, you're assigning meaning based on what you're feeling about something that had nothing to do with you. It's another pitfall. Don't get into the trap of defending anybody because you think somebody's being attacked when you don't know. You have no evidence that anybody is being attacked. If you think that somebody shouldn't be criticized because you don't think so, do you understand? We all have freedom. And this is why I said the ego gets in your way. The ego gets in the way. And that's it. And understand that. And I'm always mindful of that. Is my ego coming up and doing things? Is my ego the one that is driving the train in this case, whatever the case may be? You get what I'm saying. At least I hope you do. See, because I operate from the premise that you're intelligent, We created this game. It's a supernatural existence. We created it. That is, I think, mind-blowing. And if you are going to reduce to being petty, if you're going to reduce yourself to being petty and getting caught up in your emotions because you think somebody's being attacked when you, like I said, when you have no evidence of it, and you're now putting words in another person's mouth, you're making a lot of critical errors in your thinking. The final thing that I want to touch on is being mindful of source players who are in a lower frequency. And I'm talking about awakened source players. and they are unaware of their true, what actual frequency level they're on, and they're engaging in back and forth, arguing their side of something and trying to engage another source player in that. They're in a low frequency and they are energy harvesting. And that is something that source players can do, especially if they are on a lower frequency. They're trying to bring you down to their level, literally. You have to be mindful of that, because either they think that they're testing you or they feel that they're superior to people. I don't know, whatever their motives are. I don't know their motives. I'm just saying energy harvesting exists within source players. Finally, I want to leave you with this. Quartz crystal is not testing you. She's not testing you. She has talked about there being tests. You will be tested throughout your game. When you reach certain frequency levels, the Matrix is going to send tests into you, make sure that you are on the frequency level that you deserve to be on. There is no vested reason for her to be testing you. Here's the thing. She won the game and she returned your energy to you. She returned your energy to your synergy cell, and she gave you all of your captured source fractal pieces back to you, which are spheres that are surrounding you that you are not able to perceive. Some can perceive them, some cannot. Okay? That is what has been given back to you. Now, that can be revoked from you at any point in time. She is always entitled to that energy, but she gave it back to give you a fair shot. All right? So, if you mess up your game and you don't come out of this on the other side victoriously for whatever reason, XYZ, you've made errors, you came through it, and that's it, your cell is drained, you are then isolated. There is nothing that is ever going to allow you to be another source player in another Matrix game. So, she doesn't care how you come out of your game. If you lose your game, she gets your energy. She's not going to test you on whether or not you have it. That's what this game is. If you don't have it, if you're mentally weak and you've been judgmental or anything of her, of the information, what do you think that's doing to you? What do you think that's doing to your game? There's no reason for her to test you. If you mess up, she gets your energy back anyway. Even if you don't mess up, she could be like, you know what? The energy I gave back to them or this person, it's not appreciated. I'm going to take it back. And she can do that. What does she need you for? What does she need you for? She doesn't need you to go into the next game. Because if you do dumb things here, when we leave, we will assess our own game. We will assess how well we played. And then we will know whether or not we are relinquishing our energy to the winner of the game, or we are mentally strong enough to endure another Matrix. And that's it. So don't be paranoid. My very last final thought that I want to add here, because I forgot about it earlier in something else I was saying, is that if you are unhappy that you are not experiencing something in your game right now, you need to understand and remember that you will only get what you are a frequency matched to. And you will only be able to do what you have earned the right to do. You have earned the privilege to be able to have this ability. She has said it. Giving powers to an immature source player is not beneficial. And I know she was talking about it in the lower frequencies. That's my point. If you have allowed yourself to become discontent because you can't do something or you haven't manifested something, you're going to hold yourself from being able to get what you want. That's the game. So that's what I'm going to leave you on. Be well, be smart, and be powerful source players. All right, bye.